Revenge films.
A few days ago, it was my friend Tsukami's wedding day, but she didn't arrive by the time the ceremony was supposed to start. Everyone started fussing trying to call her phone, but nobody could get through. The groom had gone pale and the venue turned to chaos. By the time contact had been made, it was already past 11, and Tsukami's parents had already apologized over and over to the groom and his family, and all the guests had gone home, angry. As for Tsukami, she had gotten pretty drunk at her bachelorette party the day before, and had lost her phone and her purse. After the party, she had fallen asleep on a park bench in the next town, was found and reported to the police. She had been admitted to hospital, just in case, but when she came to, it was already way past the time the ceremony was supposed to start. When she realized, her scream apparently echoed through the halls of the hospital. What an idiot. But the truth is all this was planned. By me. The story will go back in time a bit, but I have a brother that's 5 years older than me. When he graduated from high school, he left our hometown and got into a university in one of the bigger cities. After graduating from university, he got a job over there. My brother introduced Tsukami as his fiancé when he was 24 and when Tsukami was 19. They met when she took on a part-time job at his workplace. When I first saw Tsukami, she seemed like the flashy type, and I felt that she didn't really match my brother, who was diligent and shy when it comes to girls. But my brother was head over heels in love, and even though my dad wasn't too convinced, he trusted my brother's honest personality and gave them his blessing. Tsukami's parents were completely against the marriage, but my brother visited them repeatedly just to convince them and said that they didn't have to pay for anything. On top of that, he promised that he would pay for the entire wedding, and with that, they finally gave their consent. I regretted thinking badly of Tsukami when she had said she would drop out of university just to be with my brother. My brother spent almost $34,000 in order to prepare the wedding, fulfilling as many of Tsukami's wishes as possible, and to buy a new home that would be close to Tsukami's parents' house. However, the day before the wedding, Tsukami had suddenly moved all of her stuff out of their new home and disappeared. After that, my brother received a text from Tsukami saying, "I can't marry you after all, I'm sorry!" There had apparently been a few signs that she had been cheating, but the wedding was coming up, so my brother had decided to trust her and ignore those signs. It turned out that Tsukami had been cheating after all, and the wedding was canceled. When we looked for her, desperately, we found out she was with her childhood friend / ex-boyfriend. When he found out that Tsukami was getting married, this ex-boyfriend had called her up and they got back together. After that, the engagement fell apart, with Tsukami to blame. Tsukami had complained quite a lot, but once a lawyer became the middleman, it was decided that she would pay compensation and reimburse the wedding fees. After this, my brother had tried his best to get back on his feet, but of course, not everyone around him was sympathetic, and it seems there were a lot of people at work who were talking behind his back and making fun of him. This caused a great deal of stress for my brother, and he started visiting the hospital to get antidepressants, but they didn't work, and his depression got worse. In the end, he had to resign. He moved back to our hometown to live at our dad's house, but he became a shut-in. As for me, I completed a short course at university and coincidentally moved to the area near to where my brother had been living until the wedding. I was worried about my brother, but my dad and older sister told me,
"Don't worry about us. We'll take care of him. You do the work you want to do,"
and sent me off. I couldn't help but keep looking back, but I decided to work hard at my new job. One day, once my new life had calmed down, I was driving when I happened to think, isn't this near to where Tsukami lives? I decided to drive around a little more. Then, near to where Tsukami's house was, I found her walking, holding hands with a guy. The guy was the ex-boyfriend she had been cheating with. My brother was only thinking of Tsukami when he decided to pay for the entire wedding and worked hard to repair that money. I couldn't forgive that the two people responsible for breaking that up were so happy and carefree. After looking into it, I heard that even though they had made a mess of my brother's wedding, they had plans to get married themselves in the near future. When I found out, a plan formed in my head for revenge. So that Tsukami wouldn't realize that I was her ex-fiance's sister, I dyed my hair black and changed my glasses to contacts. I changed my makeup style from natural to the flashy style that was popular, and tried to wear clothes that Tsukami and her friends would wear. I disguised myself and created an opportunity to meet her. We spoke and became friends instantly. Tsukami had lost a lot of friends when she left my brother, so she must have been pretty lonely. She invited me to her wedding straight away. The day before her wedding, I gathered her friends and drinking buddies at her favorite bar and told her it was a surprise party. Tsukami, congratulations.
Thank you! I promise I'll become happy.
My anger boiled inside me as she said it, but I faked a smile. I knew from research that she was a big fan of drinking, and that she was a bad drunk. It looked like she was limiting herself at the beginning, but she couldn't stop and was chugging strong alcohol in no time. By the way, I was drinking juice and ginger ale and only pretending to be drunk. I hadn't drunk any alcohol at all. Everyone went home when they had gotten a little tipsy. I stayed, pretending to take care of Tsukami. Once everyone had gone, I pushed the drunk Tsukami into my car, which I had parked around the corner. In the middle of the night, I drove Tsukami to the next town and left her on a random bench in a random park. It was summer, so there was no chance of her dying from hypothermia, and someone would surely spot her on their early morning run. After driving for a while, I threw her bag out of the window. It contained her purse and phone and other ID. Tsukami was fast asleep until morning when she was found covered in mosquito bites by someone during their run. They called the police, who called for an ambulance just in case. Afterwards, when she heard that I was the last person with her, Tsukami went crazy and took her anger out on me. But I told her, "What are you saying? When we were about to get on the taxi, you suddenly said you were going home first and left me behind. Thanks to you, I had to find another taxi." When I said that, she couldn't counter. Of course, she had been so drunk she couldn't remember a thing. On top of that, everyone knew just how bad a drunk she was, since she often fell asleep at bars and in friends' toilets and bathtubs. And most of the time, she didn't remember a thing. So, her remaining friends... "Unbelievable. I can't believe you would drink so much the day before your own wedding. It's your own fault for not controlling yourself. I took the day off work and went to get my hair done especially. Give me back my time and money." Were pretty cold towards her. Because she hadn't turned up and even blamed me for it, her very few friends cut ties with her. When my brother's wedding was canceled, her parents had said,
"This is why we didn't want her marrying a guy from the countryside from a single-father family,"
and blamed my brother, even though their own daughter was completely at fault. It was refreshing to see them apologize so much to the groom's family this time around. I cut my ties with Tsukami, using her accusations as my reason, and after that she had lost all of her friends and had even
"You ruined 2 weddings!"
gotten thrown out by her own parents. The groom also,
"Damn it, you ruined the wedding! It's all your fault! You better pay me back!"
has his bit to say, but from my point of view, he's guilty of the same thing. From now on, he'll suffer the same way my brother did, so I hope he enjoys it. Just because I was able to get revenge on Tsukami and her groom doesn't mean my brother gets his time or past back, and I understand that it's completely for self-satisfaction. But thinking about my brother and the family who are so worried about him, I couldn't help myself. I plan on waiting with my family for my kind brother to come back to us and leave his room one day. If possible, I want him to meet a wonderful woman who he can be happy with.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.